Hello friends, I'm Suzanne, your Canadian Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'd like to welcome you to yet another Paper Pumpkin alternative video. This kit is for the month of January 2022, and the name of the kit is Hugs and Kisses. The purpose of this kit was to make 10 cards with envelopes, but I have several ideas that could stretch your kit into making more from its contents. I also want you to know that the folks who subscribe to Paper Pumpkin with me get an additional PDF emailed directly to them with a dozen more exclusive alternative ideas, and they also gain entry into my special VIP SuNN social group where there is a lot more inspiration and giveaways. Anyway, the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors for this kit are Flirty Flamingo, Blushing Bride, Gold, Gray Granite, Very Vanilla, and White. And I always tell you this just in case I'm going to pull some cardstock and whatnot for these alternatives. And you're going to find more pictures and information about these creations at my blog, sunstampin.com. And one last thing, Stampin' Up! Is raising the prices on Paper Pumpkin. So if you were thinking about joining Paper Pumpkin, it might be an idea to get a prepaid Paper Pumpkin, and I'll put those links in the description box below for you. You can purchase 3 months prepaid and you'll lock in the price for 3 months. Obviously, you can see it used to be $82.50, and as of March 1st, it's going up to $90. And you get a celebration reward. And it goes up from there. 6 months, which is what I usually buy, $158 Canadian. It'll be going up to $171 as of March 1st. Anyway, I just wanted to give you these tips. So in case you were on the fence and you wanted to try Paper Pumpkin, this is a great way. I'm always looking for new Paper Pumpkin subscribers because I do these videos, and if I don't have any subscribers, why am I doing these videos? All right, let's get into the alternatives. Okay, I'm just going to go over what we got in the kit. First of all, here is the stamp set. It has a great big XO, would also be good for tic-tac-toe. There is Love You, For You, Friend, Sending You Love, More, and a little tiny heart with an arrow through it and some spots. Here is the little sort of like marketing page that shows that you can actually get these XO boxes. And on this back side, it says something's coming on the horizon, and then there's a QR code, and it links to a Spotify playlist that gives you the vibe of the kit. All right, so all the ingredients here, these were supposed to be 10 cards and envelopes, and that's what they're supposed to look like. You got the directions, you got the rulers, you've got just color pictures, really awesome. And here was everything that was in the kit. So some really nice papers, and here I go with my alternative card number 1. So I am using Very Vanilla because it as a card base, because that looked the best because of all this pink and gold and the Very Vanilla color on the on this XO envelope. It was the reason why I chose it. So instead of basic white card, if you have Very Vanilla, that's how I would go in that color way anyway. So someone asked me to share the way I cut things. So you can see how lovely this trimmer is because I can cut just like little slivers and make everything nice and straight. So I have destroyed an envelope. I destroyed 2 envelopes out of this kit. This one was the first one, and the second one I think you'll see at the very end. So I wanted to make this a lovely square or rectangle piece that would go with the front of my card base. So I'm just trimming off any little fuzzies. You can see how thin I can get those trims. I just wanted to say that if you have had, that was one of my requirements for a trimmer, is that it can trim and it doesn't bunch the paper up or what have you. This paper is quite thin. It's envelope paper. So this is, I think, let's see, maybe 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So a very, very small border around this very vanilla card, but that's my card base. It looks fabulous. I love the XOs. I love the gold, and who knew that Flirty Flamingo looks so well with the XOs. So this is the only one card base that I used. I destroyed for my paper pumpkin alternatives. I do try to use minimal supplies here. I usually attack the envelopes because you can always, pick a white envelope to go with the card that you're making. So I did fussy cut this XOXO out, and it was pretty easy to do. It's not that hard. And again, I did use a vellum heart that was from the kit. I'm just using a little bit of adhesive and sticking it in the middle. And then I put the dimensional adhesive that comes in the kit to pop up that XOXO. I know every time I say that, I want to say Gossip Girl. So am I dating myself? XOXO, Gossip Girl. My little guilty pleasures. Okay, so that is where I'm putting the hugs and kisses. And then these were amazing adhesive sequins. They didn't have holes in the middle, so they were flat sequins. I want to call them Moorish because I wanted to use more on all my cards. Like, I didn't stick with my 3, I went to 5 because, like I said, they were Moorish. Moving on to alternative card number 2. I always try to show you the supplies I'm using. So the very vanilla card base, and then sort of bits and pieces from that envelope that I just tore up. I am, again, using my amazing trimmer to trim down any little extra pieces that I need. And I want to just give you guys heads up that I got this card kit very, very late. They were having some supply chain issues, and I'm in Canada, so I'm pretty sure that every American got their paper pumpkin first, and I was very, very, very late. And I know even one of my customers said I was waiting for it. Where did it go? And I think we were all in the same boat. There was some trouble with supplies with this one. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that that's why this video is late. Oftentimes I try to make the paper pumpkin one of the last videos of the month. And when I don't get there, it causes havoc for everybody. So I do apologize, but things were out of my control. As you can see here, what I'm doing, I had the XOXO Hugs and Kisses line, and then I flipped over a little bit of that Flirty Flamingo envelope. So it was the back side of the XOXO, and I was able to give a little border. And you're going to see this theme throughout my whole paper pumpkin alternatives, because I love the look. Who knew that Flirty Flamingo looks so good with the gold and very vanilla? I had no idea. All right, so I took one of the pink hearts, and this was from one of the card base, and basically I just drew the heart on. I tried to get a similar look with this heart. It wasn't my best shaped heart because I had to tidy up this heart. So I do show you in the next few clips or the next few card designs that I actually just go ahead and fold the paper in half and then draw half a heart, erase it if I need to, but it has like a little crease in the middle, but who cares? So I trimmed this out twice, basically, making it a little smaller than the first heart, but I think I got the shape okay. It's a handmade card, you know what? So I used Blushing Bride and this is a blending brush that Stampin' Up sells. I have one pretty much for every sort of tone of color. So this is light pink, or just pink, I should say, and then I have one for red, and I have one for light and dark green and light and dark blue. But anyway, I moved on from the Blushing Bride to Flirty Flamingo because I felt like I needed a rosier color. And then I also went in just to make my cutting look even better. I went around and gave some blush to this heart as well. So once I had finished blushing on, putting some blush on my hearts, I adhered them to my card. So the first one went down just straight with straight dry adhesive. And I just plunked that probably in the bottom third on the right-hand side. And then here I go in with my mini dimensionals that came in the kit and my second heart and pop that up. Now, when I do designs like this, sometimes I forget that there's a sentiment involved. And this is what I did here. I went on with my sequins and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to put a sentiment. So I don't have a Valentine, and I figured that sending love, sending you love was an appropriate greeting for me so that I can utilize these cards. So I put that on dimensionals and I stamped with the gray granite, which goes very well with this colorway, and just ended up trimming a little bit more. And that is card number 2. Okay, here we go with card number 3. I do encourage you to always vote on your favorite. I do not take offense to it. And yeah, you can tell me why you liked it. How's that? So I have 4 different colors here. And Polished Pink, I have Blushing Bride, I can't remember, Flirty Flamingo, and maybe did I already say Polished Pink? Poppy Parade, perhaps? And I ended up bringing in one more color too, and that was Highland Heather. And I'm just using that really small image of the heart with the arrow in it. And I am creating a maybe 2-inch strip of floating hearts with arrows in the, it is a landscape card, or some people call, I don't know, do they call this hot dog? I don't even know. Anyway, it's long ways. And I am using all the colors. I wanted sort of Polished Pink to be the star, so there's not that many. And yeah, I'm just stamping. Like I said, I've got about 1/2 inch from the bottom that doesn't have any stamping, and probably about 2 inches on the top that doesn't have any stamping either. So I'm just mixing up the hearts, and this is just a way of, you know, oh, and this is basic white thick card base, I wanted to remind you. Now here is a inch strip, and I inked up with the gray granite, and then here is my trimming again. So you want to see how things are done. I took about 1/4 of an inch. So I lined my little strip up here at the 1/4 inch mark. And then I brought my trimmer almost to the sentiment. And then I turned it around. And so the bottom half was in the 1/4 inch section of my trimmer. And I brought up the trimmer and just cut to the sentiment. And I think this would only work on, say, like an even number of inches. Like if you had 1 inch, it wouldn't necessarily be easy to figure out if you had like 1/4 of an inch sentiment. Anyway, so what I ended up doing was I trimmed off the outside edges. So hopefully you're picking up what I'm throwing down here. And now I'm going to fussy cut along the word. So this is a unique way of using a sentiment and make it look like a die cut, and also have it span the entirety of the card. So I don't know why I did this. It just came to me and I thought that would really be cool, instead of just putting a single layer of inking on my card base. Sometimes you want a little bit of a wow factor, and this is a wow factor. Having the sentiment in a white strip so that the sentiment has girth. It's not it's in the very forefront of your card. So I did use just a little bit of, I think this is Blushing Bride, and I just took a dauber and just ever so lightly, like it's so subtle, but I just wanted it to just soften just a touch. So it's barely visible, but you can see it. It's just the very, very tip of the edge. So, and then I, again, used my dimensional adhesive that came in the kit. And I call these the bones. So it's the frame on the outside of the dimensionals. I hope you'd never throw this away. I do hope you keep them, because it makes no sense to not use these in specifically for, situations like this, where I wanted full and total coverage of dimensionals so that it didn't sag. We don't like anything sagging, right? I've made jokes about that before. All right, so just adhering that dimensional adhesive to my sentiment strip, and it was fussy cut out as well. And then I'm bringing in that card base, and then I'm going to make this extra special and straight. So I'm just using the lines on my grid mat, and I'm adhering this over top of my hearts. And I love this design. So cute. You could take the time to color it. I did not. I folded the card base, and then I needed to put on those sparkly bling sequins, I guess. These are adhesive backed sequins. I always think sequins actually have a hole in the center, so I don't know what this is. This is a adhesive backed dots. How's that? Sequin-like dots. And then for this card, I could not stop. So I loved the bling. I loved how when you put these sequin type things, embellishments down, you were able to, like they shine different colors. Here I tucked one underneath the strip. And then I was almost going to put this away. I'm like, I always try to make, me stop. And then I just needed to add one more right there. And then I was happy. All right. That was card number, what number are we on? I forget. 3? Here we are with alternative card number 4. Give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this video. Here we are with the XOXO envelope. I've changed into my sweater because it was really cold that evening. Just trimming some stuff away. I'm kind of trying to suss out a design. Here I go with folding my envelope in half, using my pencil and creating a heart shape of my own. And I did steal one of the hearts, die cut hearts that were in the kit. It has a gold sort of a rim around it, so it is really nice for sentiment placement. And yeah, so that's how I made a heart. And then I adhered, and again, here's that flirty flamingo back of the envelope, and I did adhere my XOXO to just a little strip of the flirty flamingo, and then I will cut away so we just see just a little bit of that flirty flamingo. I don't want it to take over the card. So it is a double line of XOXO, and I'm just trimming away kind of awkwardly the pink, the flirty flamingo, sorry. All right, and then I actually put dimensional adhesive. I used two of the other bones. I used the first set of bones on the last card, and this is the second set of bones. And I did add a couple extra just to make sure that I didn't have saggage. I could probably say that I probably spend the most on dimensionals. Don't judge me. Anyway, okay, so here we are. I'm putting it down. We've got like 1 inch at the bottom. I am folding my card base in half and then trimming off the excess. And here we go. I get to put the gray granite sentiment. And again, I'm just choosing sending you love because that way I can give it to anybody. It's not very specific. And like I said, I don't really have a Valentine to give a card to. So I'm totally fine with just sending something to a friend, just sending you love. Like that could go to anybody. And you could be more specific with your the like XO stamp set or the images in the stamp set. Sorry. All right, so I'm adhering the heart that I actually made myself. This is a Sue designed heart. It is different than the one there, and that's okay. And then I added Wink of Stella because Wink of Stella never hurt anything. Actually, I think Wink of Stella deserves to be on all hearts and squares and circles too, maybe even triangles. So there. And strips. So I not only covered the flirty flamingo heart, but also the little strip at the bottom. So it was missing something even with the Wink of Stella. So I again got my Moorish sequins out and adhered them to the card. And I did, it still needed something for me. So I'm playing around with placement. There's something, I need to do something else. I'm also being distracted by the TV or the computer streaming service that I'm watching. I can't remember what I was watching at this time, but sometimes I get like, you'll see my hands just like stop because I have to actually physically look up on the TV or the computer screen to see what I just watched. All right, so I did cut out the XO here, and I did 2, but I'm only going to use 1, I promise. I like this one. I'm going to remove that one. So the first XO that I put on was crooked, so that isn't going to do. I mean, if I can make things straight, I will definitely try to make things straight. Take my time, and get my fat fingers out of the way. The Take Your Pick tool is a incredible tool that will help that. And then I looked at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's too many XOs. So I removed this one, and then I was happy with the result. So, huzzah! Okie dokie, this is card number 5. I can't believe I've been talking for like 28 minutes. I'm using my Excalibur to rip open an envelope, and I do like this little letter opener. I think it's the coolest thing I have in my desk, aside from all my stamping stuff. Again, somebody had requested how I use the trimmer to cut things down, and I'm not exactly sure if it helps, but I'll continue to share if that's what you wish. And basically for this one, I was trying to make I think about, what was it? 3 by 2, 3 by 4, 3 3/4 by 5.5. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm trimming away. I think I did 3 inches here. And I knew I wanted to go vertical. So it was 3 inches. And then I turn it around, get sidetracked by the television. And quite possibly, I'm like, where are my measurements? Okay, here we go. And then I slide it to 5.5. So then I take this little extra strip of the envelope, and again, I'm using a strip. Like I said, this was the theme of the video, the card design. I put my dry adhesive, that is Seal Plus, and I will adhere this piece right to the very, very edge. So it is 3 and maybe 1/8, I guess. 3 and 1/8. And then it goes to 5 1/4. I don't know. Hang on, we'll see how it plunged. I don't have the card in front of me, so I can't measure. So I do apologize. I sound like I don't know what I'm doing, but I actually did. I had the measurements down there. I was just getting sidetracked by something I was watching. Oh, that's right. I was watching Ozark. Oh, I don't know if you guys are watching the season of Ozark, but man. So yes, it was 5.5. And then by 3, and then that little extra flirty flamingo probably makes it 3 1/8. So hopefully you're picking up what I'm throwing down. Those were the measurements if you wanted to create this yourself. And basically all I had to do was get a heart. So folding it, doing my little pencil trick, giving a nice full heart, not the stubby one that was in the kit, and giving it a trim. I am going to use this flirty flamingo heart. It's not going to be the XOXO because it's too many XOs. Too much. That's a really easy way. It reminds me of like child school, elementary school, making hearts like that. We all know how to do it. Okay, so I put dimensional adhesive on the back, and then here I put it in the bottom third on the right. And then here is, do you remember that card base from the first card that I cut the awkward heart out of? I just folded this in half, and I got a teenier heart. So I was able to utilize a lot of my scraps. And I did take a white eraser and erase the pencil line this time. It was showing up. And again, I used the sentiment was the sending you love. It was just appropriate for me, like I said. And I did put this on dimensionals as well, I believe. So here goes my dimensional adhesive. They gave us the minis this time around. So, which is, I don't use my minis very often, but it was perfect. Stampin' Up always knows what they're doing. So this dimensional was doubled because it hangs off the edge. So there are my 2 hearts. And then I think I've recorded this, but I actually used a strip of Very Vanilla. So here's the strip. There you go. And I basically sort of just, I wanted that little strip to tuck underneath the heart, but because there were so many dimensionals, I had to make sure that I couldn't tuck it right under. So that's what I did. I just drew a line, kind of the shape of the heart, so that I know that it would be covered, and just making my card straight, putting the sentiment on with dry adhesive. And then, of course, we had to use all of the embellishments. And that brings us to the very end of the cards today. Again, you can find more pictures and information about these creations at my blog, sunstampin.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. Give me a thumbs up, make a comment, and subscribe to Paper Pumpkin with me. I would love to have you. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.